Welcome back to the Immigration Answers Show. My name is Jim Hacking. I'm an immigration lawyer. I am practicing law along with 8 of my colleagues, 8 other immigration lawyers, all of our paralegals, all of our great support staff, all of our great team members down in South America, including my good friend Huli, who will be watching the comments, keeping you all honest, making sure that nobody's being mean to each other or complaining about not being able to get into the waiting room. The waiting room is already full. And if that makes you mad, then you should get on our text list. If you text the word show to 314-470-3300, you're going to get into the waiting room way ahead of everybody else. I can't believe the waiting room is full. That just means that there's a lot of love for immigrants in this world. And don't you forget it, because it's really easy with all the fools at USCIS making you think that we don't want immigrants in the United States, but we do want immigrants in the United States because immigrants are what make America great. Take that, you red hat mother effer. Take that, Donald Trump. All right, let's say hi to Lady. What's up, Lady?
Hi, how are you, Jim?
I'm well. How are you doing?
Very good. Thank you so much for this show. I just have a few questions for you. My husband and I, we already have a spouse visa in process, and it has been a year. We filed December 6th of 2021. We wanted to know what can we do to move along the process, or is this just waiting at this particular time?
Are you the U.S. citizen or are you the foreign national?
I am the U.S. citizen, and my husband is in Nigeria.
Okay, and so the I-130 itself is still pending.
Yes, that is correct.
USCIS hasn't approved it.
No, it has not.
Has your spouse ever been to the embassy in Nigeria to try to get a visa to come to the United States before?
Um, no.
You sure? Are you sure?
I'm positive.
So here, I'll just walk you through with Nigerian cases. These are the issues that I always touch on, that I always make sure. Like if your husband were here talking to me, I would ask him these questions. Have you ever been married before? Have you ever applied for a visa to the United States before? Have you ever had any kind of problems with the embassy before? Because USCIS and the State Department, they're sort of discriminating against particularly men from Nigeria. But there are also people in Nigeria who are telling people, I can get you a visit visa. Just say that
Mhm.
you're married and I'll get you a visit visa. And then later on, when they get married to a U.S. citizen, then that makes everything a lot harder. So I'm not saying that's why your case has been delayed. I mean, you're at 14 months now, 13 months. So you're getting to the point where you might start thinking about suing them. We could sue them, but that would just get the case from USCIS to the State Department. Then you still have to do all that stuff. So a lawsuit, I think, would most likely work to get it from there to there, but you still have that long wait with the embassy.
Okay. And also, would when he does have his interview, do you recommend that I be there at the
No,
interview with him?
no, I have a whole video on this. Nothing good happens when the U.S. citizen comes over there. Nothing good happens when the U.S. citizen comes over there. So um, they use that as an opportunity not to make the case stronger, but to make the case weaker. They would bring you in and ask you questions and try to they could bring you in and try to make it look like you don't really know your spouse. I mean, generally, they're not going to let you in. The general rule is you can't come in. But even if they do let you in, not much good is going to happen. So I vote no on that plan.
Okay. And then just my last question, what would your estimated percentage would be for him to get approved for his visa?
Well, if you've done everything right, if he's never been married before, has he been married before?
No.
Okay, that's good. So if he's never applied for a visa before and never been married before, then I would say pretty high, 90%, 80, 90%.
And okay, and I apologize. I did
You're
say my
fine.
last question.
That's all right.
It just popped in my head.
Sure.
We did read about sometimes that they would have an issue with the age gap because I am about 20 years older than him.
Yeah, so they're not going to like that so much. I mean, that shouldn't be a problem at USCIS. That'll be more at the embassy at the State Department. I haven't heard too much about age gaps being a problem in
Okay.
Nigeria. I mean, 20 years is not nothing, but it's also not the end of the world. I think that, if you can show that you've been over to see him a bunch of times, if you can demonstrate the real relationship, they're going to go after him hard and try to make him look like he's just marrying you to get a green card.
Right.
And like if I made a list of the people they discriminated against the most, I think honestly right now in 2023, I would say the people that they discriminate against the most are men from Nigeria, even more than men from Iran, but it'd be pretty close.
Okay. All right. So you did say to go the route to do the sue, because we've been reading a lot about you. We would love
Yeah.
to hire you. What would be your pricing?
Yeah. So I would say you should hire us to sue them and hire us to take over the rest of the case because you're going to need a lot of evidence. How many times have you been over there?
Twice. I'm actually will be heading over there in just a
Good.
few months.
Good. So that'll be good. So that'll be 3 trips by the time. So it's going to take a lot of work. You might, I would say what you should do is call the office, tell them you want to talk to Paul and that you were on the call and ask for one of the intake specialists and then say, Jim says that I should talk to Paul or Ryan. And then they'll help you figure out, and they'll probably talk to me about whether or not you should sue now or start working on making the case stronger. And I think that's what I would do. I'd focus on making the case stronger, and then if it doesn't happen in 2 months, then sue them.
Okay. All
All
right.
right. Thanks for
Jim,
coming on.
you are
Great
most
question.
welcome. Thank you.
All right. All right. We got a couple Adels on the line. Adel number 1. What's up, Adel Ali Khan?
Hi. I had a question about, my immigration interview is tomorrow for the citizenship,
Ooh,
and
nice.
just
Where?
wanted to find out. I just studied the questions of the 2008 version, and I know there was like another version of it. So just wanted to confirm if I studied the right questions,
You
and
did.
what should like.
You did. Which field office are you going to have your interview at?
I think it's in Chicago downtown.
Yeah. Do you want me to ask you some questions to see how you'll do? Like I know there's questions that they ask a lot. Would you like to hear some of them and we'll
Yeah,
see how you do?
definitely.
Okay. Name one Native American tribe.
Cherokee.
Cherokee. Yeah. The other day, my client answered that really smartly. He said Crow because Crow's a really easy one to remember. It's only 4 letters,
Oh,
so
and I
I'm going with
remember
Crow. But
Cherokee, the car, Grand Cherokee, right?
Cherokee.
Cherokee. Yeah, is that how you say it?
There you go.
Cherokee.
Cherokee.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But
Yeah.
you're right, Grand Cherokee. That's a car. That's another good one. So
Yeah.
Crow or Cherokee. Okay. Who
Yeah.
is the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court?
John G. Roberts Jr.
Okay, you're 2 for 2. You only have to get 6 right, and you have 8
Right.
left. You ready?
Yeah.
All right. How long does a U.S. senator serve? How long does a U.S. senator serve?
6 years.
6 years. So he's 3 for 3. Halfway there. Okay. What happened on September 11th, 2001?
Terrorists attacked the United States.
Yep. How many stars are on the U.S. flag?
50.
Ooh, he's 5 for 5. One more and you're done. One more and you're done.
Yeah.
Here we go. If the president and vice president cannot serve, who serves as president?
The Speaker of the House.
Ding, 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 ding. Give that man his citizenship. Nice work.
Yeah.
Nice
The question
work,
is
Adel.
50 stars. Why are there 50 stars?
That's another question. Do you know why?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like 50 stars represent the 50 states.
There you go. There you
Yeah.
go. Okay, so most officers start with that. They start with the exam. Like and the cool thing about Chicago is they have one floor for green cards and one floor for citizenship. So you'll take that escalator up and you'll go and you'll check in and then they'll call your name or they'll call your number. You'll go in, they'll ask for your green card and your driver's license. Are you playing on the 3-year rule or the 5-year rule?
What is that? I didn't even know that.
3-year rule
3
if you're
years.
married 3 years.
3 years.
So your spouse is coming with you?
No, I mean, she doesn't have to.
Your spouse should come with you. Yep.
Well, it didn't say on the letter I got. It just said you were supposed to be there.
You should bring new evidence of your marriage, and you should bring your spouse to your interview if you marked a 3-year box.
3-year. Okay, because like the documents I submitted them were birth certificate, and they asked for my marriage certificate. So I'm carrying that. So you're saying that
Yeah,
I should
but
take with
if
me?
you yeah, if you are applying under the 3-year rule, it is entirely fair game for them to inquire as to whether or not the marriage is still real. So you can't go in there with no evidence. You need to bring updated bank statements, updated marriage evidence, updated pictures. You have to bring all that stuff. They might not want it, but in 20,
Right.
30% of the cases they want it. So you've got to be ready for that.
Right. What if what about like I guess like our comment bill, like the electricity bill is like it comes under
Yeah, all
both.
that stuff. Yeah, bring it. Yep, for sure.
Yeah.
Anything
Okay.
that
Cool.
shows both of you at that address, but you definitely need to bring your spouse.
Right.
They might
Ago,
even if what?
even if we were married for like 10 years, and I have like a 10 years green card too, so it's not like you know.
Why did you apply on the 3-year rule if you've been married 10 years?
I thought you're saying like the 3-year rule meant like since I'm married citizen, life I'm applying for this citizenship like being 3 years in the States. That's what I
Okay, so
meant. I'm
do you have a copy of your N400?
it's in the computer. So
Well,
basically,
we don't have time to look at it, but on that form, you check, I'm applying under the 3-year rule because I'm married to a U.S. citizen, or I'm applying under the 5-year rule. If you applied under the 3-year rule, you need to bring marital evidence.
okay. Yeah, so one of the letters that I got, they said that you have to bring your marriage certificate if you're married. And they kept it really simple, the one I got. And they didn't ask for like marriage evidence except for like, the the marriage
Adel,
certificate. Yeah,
do you trust me?
definitely.
Do you want to make sure that your case that there's nothing's going to screw up your case tomorrow?
Yeah.
You don't have to bring a ton, and your wife will probably spend all the time in the waiting room. But like I said, there's a 10 or 20% chance they might want to talk to her.
Okay. All right. Great.
All right, good luck, my friend. Good luck. I
Definitely.
hope it goes well tomorrow. Let us know, okay, Otto?
Thank Yes.
Bye, buddy. He was fading in and out. That was sort of driving me crazy. I can't tell if Arslan's driving or not. Arslan, if you're not driving, give me a thumbs up. Arslan's up next. What do you say, Arslan?
Hey Jim, how are you?
Great. How are you doing?
I am great. Thank you for asking. And thank you for taking me on the call. I
Go
have
for it.
a
What do you got?
question. I got my recently 10 years green card,
Nice.
and I was thinking if you when I can apply for citizenship.
So, you got your 10-year green card based on marriage?
Marriage. Yes.
So, what's the start date on your green card?
The start date is January 26, 2021.
Okay. And you're still married?
Yes.
Okay, so that means that you can apply under the 3-year rule. So that would be January 26, 2024. Then you can subtract 3 months. So December, November, October. So I would say right around November 1st, you can apply.
Oh, okay. I was thinking probably like you have to count from the date you got married, but it doesn't count the previous year that you got married.
No, it's 3 years of being married and 3 years of having your green card.
Oh, okay,
It's
okay.
both.
All right, that was my question.
Bye,
All right, man.
Arslan.
Thank you so much.
See you, buddy. Boy, we got a lot of A names today. We had Adel and Arslan and now Arman. What do you say, Arman?
Hi, Jim. First, thanks so much for doing this. We need more warriors like you. So I have two questions. One, a quick one. A second one is a rather longer one.
Okay.
So I have been going through this harrowing experience of the perm process, and
Yes, perm process. Yes, harrowing is right.
and my case was audited, and
Mm.
they have been lawyers, and my company have been working on the audit response.
What's the
And
job? What's the job?
the job is an investment officer job in a small company.
And how many resumes did they get?
They did get 0 resumes.
Oh, and then they can audit all they want. Okay. All right. So what's the
Uh,
question?
the question is, I would like to review the audit response because in the past the same lawyers did some sort of oversights, which ended up creating a lot of personal issues for me.
Yeah, yeah.
Is it my legal right to review the audit response?
I do not believe that it is.
Okay, so I'm not able to review the audit response.
Not if the employer doesn't want you to.
But is there any legal obstacle that could prevent me from reviewing the audit response?
Yeah,
If
it's not your
my
property. It's not your property, so you don't have the right to it. So it's not that there's a legal obstacle; it's that you don't have the right to it.
got it. That's perfectly clear. And if my employer allows it, I'm able to review it.
That's the whole thing. Now, for me, I encourage it's sort of a weird thing when lawyers represent the employer because, hopefully most of the time everybody's on the same page, right? So, the interests of the employer and the
Mhm.
interests of the employee are aligned. So
Yeah.
I try to encourage my clients to share the information back and forth. And I also tell everybody, hey, look, employee, if you tell me that you're going to get this green card and then get the hell out of that company, if you tell me that, I'm going to tell the employer, like, I represent both of you. So don't tell me stuff you don't want me to know or share with them. So, but I would, if it were me, I would encourage the employer to let you see stuff. And especially if I'd made mistakes before, I'd be more inclined to want you to be able to see it. I mean, if nothing else, you might help me cut down on future mistakes. But people are weird. Lawyers are weird. So anything's possible.
Got it. Perfect. So that's super clear for me. Do
Okay.
I have time for the second question? It's a
Yeah,
long
go for it. You're fine.
So I'm also in the process of applying to MBA programs, and basically I already have a master's degree. I used up my 3 years OPT STEM extension. I know I cannot get any OPT after the sort of MBA, but I'm hoping to keep my green card application if my audit is approved and I want to continue or I want to start my MBA program. I'm currently a full-time student, by the way, so I will be just changing my status.
So let's walk through your timeline. When did you get your master's degree?
5 years ago.
And then you did 3 years of OPT?
Yes.
And then you went back to school?
Yes, I'm a full-time student right now. I'm on
Work-
CPT.
Working on the MBA?
Not yet. I am applying for MBA programs.
What school are you going to? Did you get, don't tell me the school. Did you get CPT right after after your OPT ended, you went back to a school, and did that school give you first day CPT?
Yes,
Okay, so USCIS doesn't like that.
I know.
Okay. All right. So
I mean, I always wanted to do that master's anyways, and I didn't know it was a CPT, so it's all the better that they give me a first day CPT.
So how long have you been in the United States? Because now we have another problem coming up.
My 5 year stamp is about to expire.
So when did you first enter the United States for your F1?
2018 November.
Okay. Okay. So okay. When you first came to America, you got a master's degree in the STEM field. Then you had 3 years of OPT. Did you apply for an H-1B during any of those years?
Yes, I did, and they made a terrible mistake. And my, although I got H-1B lottery, the application fell through.
This law firm, the same law firm that's doing your
No,
perm
it's
stuff now?
different. It's a different law
So you've
firm.
had Armand's had really great lawyers.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Okay. So your CPT, so are you, the CPT that you're getting, is it working towards a degree?
Yes,
And it's a different degree than the original degree, and it's a different degree than the MBA that you're discussing.
correct.
And do you have the new school lined up for the I-20 for the MBA?
Hopefully, I will have the school admit me, then I will request them to transfer
Got
my
it.
status.
Got it. And you're going to do that while the perm process plays out, and hopefully they file an I-140, are able to file an I-140.
Exactly. And there's a possibility I could continue working full time to for my employer, because they're also filing a part-time H-1B for me right now.
Why don't they just file a full-time H-1B and you forget the MBA?
I want to do an MBA. It's a good school.
I gotcha. Okay, good. Okay, so what's the question for me, my friend?
Is this possible that I could
Everything that you said is possible. We're getting out on the edges of things they don't like. So I think that there might come a time, maybe around the time of your green card interview, if you get that far, if you have an interview, where they might be a little bit, they might be scrutinizing the CPT stuff. But overall, it sounds okay to me. You're out on the edges of having been here a long time and having squeezed every ounce out of your F1 that you possibly can. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying that on the scheme of on a scale, you're pretty far out here on the part of like being pretty aggressive, if that makes sense. 2 years of CPT is a lot.
I mean,
getting a third degree is a lot. I don't know that they have a legal argument to say that you did anything wrong, but I just think they're not going to like it much, if that makes sense. And when they don't like things, then they find ways to cause mischief.
I mean, I'm honestly not planning to stay in USA for the long run. I just want to have that ability to stay. You know what I mean? So I don't know why it's such a big deal, but thank you so much for your time. I really, really appreciate it.
You got it, Armand. Good luck, man. I hope it all works out.
Thanks.
That was funny. After all that, he said, I don't know if I really want to stay. I mean, he's doing all that work to get a green card. Now he's not sure he wants to stay. Mulako. Hi, Mulako.
Sorry. Hi, Jay. How are you?
How you doing?
Good, good. Thank you for doing this. You're helping a lot of people, more than you know.
I don't know if I can talk to people in Giants hats, but we'll make an exception this time. Go ahead.
So I'm here to ask you a question on behalf of a friend. And
Sure.
The situation is she had a conditional green card because she was married in less than 2 years before the filing. And she filed the I-751 in October 2021 jointly, but then she got divorced in June 2022.
Yeah.
And still she didn't get any response apart from the notice, the extension. And then she actually had her final decree, her divorce decree in October 2022.
Yep.
But now recently, she didn't do anything about it, but recently she got the 48 months extension, the new notice. Now she's starting to get worried and she wants to know what she should do next, whether she should withdraw the original I-571 and file a new one with the waivers, or is there any way that she can do amendments on the original filings?
Technically, yes, but that's not what we recommend, and I'll tell you why. So just real quick, one question that I always ask in these situations is, as far as the ex-spouse, if I always think about this as a stoplight, red light, yellow light, green light. So red light is if that U.S. citizen knows that she's still here, they're going to do everything they can to keep her from staying. Yellow light is they're just going to stay out of it. And green light is they might even help us a little bit to let the person get the 10-year green card. Which would her spouse fall into? Do you know?
I would say yellow, like kind
yellow.
of neutral.
They'll just stay out of it. Okay, I can work with that. That's always good. So here's what we do in situations like this. Technically, there's a way where you can amend it, but we think it makes it really, really messy. It's been signed by the ex-spouse. In that application just invites USCIS coming to talk to the ex-spouse. So what we recommend in these situations is not right away dismissing the old one, but instead getting the new one ready so she can file on her own and say, this was a good faith marriage. This was a real marriage. We really married each other for love. I did not marry this person to get a green card. And then what we do is we talk to your friend and get her whole romance story from start to finish. How did it begin all the way to how it ended? Everything in between, a real strong chronology, timeline, laying everything out as to what happened. All the evidence that we can gather that after she got the green card, that they were still married, that it was still legit, that it wasn't just for a green card. We get all that stuff ready. And then we say, hey, friend of Mulukul, can we talk to your ex-husband just one time, or your ex-spouse? And if she says yes, then we call the spouse, and we have a very condensed version of her statement. Yeah, my name is Jim. Yeah, I married Sheila. Sheila and I were in love. Sheila and I got married on this day. My friends came, her friends came, my family came. It was a real marriage. We just decided that it wasn't going to work out. It didn't work out, and so we got divorced. I wish Sheila well, and I hope she gets her 10-year green card. If I can get him to say that, or her to say that, whatever the spouse is, that really helps. So then we get all that together, we send it off to USCIS, and then we withdraw the old one, right? And we proceed on the new one. It's just cleaner. It's better. She's going to have to wait longer, but that time that she's spent so far, I really don't like trying to convert it, because a lot of times USCIS, it simply does not compute.
Oh, okay. A second question on this. Can I do a follow-up?
Go for it.
Yeah. So down the line, when she goes to naturalize by the 5-year rule, once this is done, the fact that she is late to file the new I-751 because it's been a while since she got the final decree on her divorce, would that affect her naturalization process, or would there be questions about it?
Maybe. But hopefully by then the 751 will have been approved, and that should be the end of it. Unless there's something screwy with the timeline or something, that should just be fine.
All right. Okay. Thank you, Jim. That'll be all.
All right. Take care.
Sure.
All right. Jason's up next. Hi, Jason.
Hey, Jim. Thanks for talking with me again. So I called in a few weeks ago and I had a question about them approving the green card without requesting evidence for medical. And so we reached out via chat. The agent there moved it up to a level 2. We received an email back stating that they received the medical and that it was approved, but they never asked us for one. Is it possible to do general surgeons ever send them in?
Did this is for your spouse, right?
Correct.
Did your spouse actually have a medical exam?
Yes.
It just was never sent.
They never requested the RFE for medical. We still have it sealed, and
I would just leave it alone.
So the fact that they said they received one.
Yeah, you're never going to get it you're never going to get a resolution. You could bang your head on the wall all the way until your spouse is eligible to apply for citizenship. And I mean, if you have documents from them, an email from them saying we received it and we approved it, you've done everything you could possibly do, and I would let it go.
Okay. Sounds good. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Bye, Jason. See you, bud. All right. Let's say hi to Adel. Adel Fadel, are you there?
Yes, I'm there.
How can I help you?
Yes, this is regarding my daughter.
Okay.
We live here in California, and we are U.S. citizen since long time. My daughter would like to marry someone who is Egyptian, but he at present working in Saudi Arabia.
Okay.
So she is, wondering which way will be more easy and more quick to get him here. He has a visit visa, and he was here in last December, and he went back to his work in Saudi Arabia.
Mm-hmm.
He is a professor at the university there.
Mm-hmm.
And my daughter was in Egypt and met him there last summer in August. That's why she knew him. And now she has 2 options. The first option that he can come using the visit visa. He has a visit visa. And then they get married here, and then she applied for him from within the United States. But in this case, how long the work permit will take to issue a work permit for him?
Ready?
and after the work permit, can he get a travel document and go out to go there to get his stuff arranged and come back? And for how long can he stay outside? This is the first option. This, the second option is that she goes to Egypt and marry him there, and after marriage she apply for him.
Adel, where in Egypt? Where in Egypt is he from?
He is from um, uh, uh, city called Tanta in the
Tanta.
north of Cairo.
You know
But
my
we
wife.
are from Cairo.
You know my wife's from Mansoura, right? Did you know that?
Oh no, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She came to America when she was 7, so she grew up in Chicago. But okay, so here's what he and she need to know, and maybe you can show them this video, okay? But basically, he can't enter the United States on a visit visa with the intention of applying for a green card. That's a violation of his visit visa. Now, if he comes to visit in the United States and he says, boy, I really want to get married, and changes his mind, like he came for a visit but then he decides while he's here to get married, if they decided here, not before he came, and they got married, so let's say that he came back on his visit visa. Let's say he came on his visit visa in June, maybe after school, okay? So if
Yes.
he comes in June and they can't get married for 60 days, or they think that he was messing around with them and tried to use his visit visa for the wrong reasons, okay?
Okay,
So
that means he has to wait for 60 days
at least.
at
Yep,
least.
at least. So let's say he enters on June 1st, and let's say he gets married on September 13th, right?
Okay.
That's my birthday. That's why I picked September 13th.
Okay.
So September 13th, they get married, and then they apply for everything. They apply for the spouse petition, they apply for the green card, they apply for the work card, and they apply for the travel document, okay?
Okay.
Now, most people these days have to wait 7 months, 6 or 7 months for that work and travel card, right? So then you're talking September plus 6 months would be like March or April next year before he gets the work card and the travel document. So that means that our friend would be unable to work or leave the United States basically from June 1st until April. So that's almost 9 or 10 months that they're here. And what I always say, Adel, is that we call them bubble boy or bubble girl because they're like up on a shelf. They can't do anything, right? They're sort of stuck here. If their parents get sick and they can't go back, the whole thing. So that's a big concern for a lot of people, right?
Yeah.
Now, the nice thing is they'd be together the whole time and they could start their life together and all that stuff. But from a work standpoint, if he's a professor and all that stuff, then you have to talk about what makes sense. He'd probably, if they got married in September, he'd probably get his green card at the end of next year, right?
Yeah.
So that's a long process. Now, if she left tomorrow and flew over to Saudi and got married tomorrow and applied for him, then he could stay there the whole time. It's processing. He could keep teaching, keep working, and then that process would probably take about 2 years, a year and a half, 2 years. But then once he gets approved, he'd get a green card mailed to his house in America probably a month or two after he arrives. So there'd be a much shorter window of working or not. Does that make sense?
Yes, it makes sense. But in
The
this case,
downside there is that they're not together,
yeah,
and she's sort of stuck without him, right?
yeah. But you mentioned it will take 2 years. Is that
It'll
right?
take, yeah, a year and a half, 2 years. And
Yeah.
I say this all the time, Adel. I became Muslim 25 years ago. Most of my
Oh,
clients are from Muslim countries, but bringing a man from an Arab or Muslim country to the United States
yeah,
is hard. They don't make it easy. So
yeah.
okay.
Okay. Um, can I have your phone number in US?
Yeah, for sure.
Your office number?
You ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
It's 314.
Oh, is it in St. Louis, Missouri?
Yeah. Do you know St. Louis?
Yes, I got my PhD from University of Missouri Rolla.
Oh, nice. So you must be an engineer.
Yes, I'm an engineer.
Nice. And
I'm
where
a civil engineer.
a civil engineer? Where in California do you live?
We are in Southern California in the Inland Empire,
Oh,
Corona.
nice. Yeah. So we have an office in San Diego. And actually my wife Amani just came back. She's on her way on a plane right now on her way back from San Diego.
Okay.
All right. So here's our
That's
phone
great.
number. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if you can see our phone number on the screen, but it's 314
Okay.
961 8200.
961
8200.
8200. Is this your office number or this is your cell phone?
No, that's my office number. I don't give out my cell phone, but for you, Adel, I will. If you send us an email, I'll give you my cell number. Okay.
Okay. And what is your email?
Yeah, it's info at hackingimmigrationlaw.com. It's on the screen. When you rewatch, you can rewatch this later on YouTube, and you can show it to your daughter and her fiance.
Yeah.
And then
Can you repeat, please, the email?
yeah,
Info
at hacking, which is my last name, HACKING.
Okay.
immigrationlaw.com.
All one word.
All one word.
Immigration
law.com.
law.com. Okay.
Thanks, Adel.
I'll explain this to my daughter when she comes back, and I'll give her your phone number and your email.
Yeah, tell her when she calls to say she wants to talk to Amani, because Amani can talk to her.
What's the name? Amani?
Yeah,
this is your wife?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. And
Bye,
your
Adel.
name is James. Is that
Jim.
right?
That's it.
Oh, thanks a lot and have a nice day.
Thanks, Adel. Masalama.
Okay.
That was Adel. That was a fun call. That was fun. He was telling me his different options. I like people that know their options. You know, we talk on the intake team about sometimes people call up and they don't know their options. But I know one person who knows his options. His name is Howsey. What's up, Howsey?
How you doing, Jim? How you going, mate?
How's married life?
It's good. Nice and cold.
She must
This implication's pretty bad. I'm not sure what you gave me.
You must have got your hair cut for that wedding.
I did.
What's up?
She might be watching right now. I'm not sure. Otherwise, I'm going to have to show this video. But so obviously you know my situation. But can you go through, because she rang up your office. We want to hire you to go through our stuff. Yeah. But if you could lay out from when we got married on Friday, could you lay out from this point onwards what happens and what forms I need?
Yeah, so the forms that we'll file are the I-130 that she'll file as a U.S. citizen, I-130A, which is background information about you, 485 for your green card, I-765 for your work card, I-131 for your travel document, and the I-864, which is the affidavit of support, where she says she's going to support you while you're here.
Yeah, we also have a co-sponsor willing to help as well. So that's fine. They're willing to do that. As for fees for you to do all that, can you give us a price for that, and we can organize that for next week?
You ready? Our fee is $5,500. $5,500. If you pay up front, it drops $500, so it's $5,000. Or you can pay $2,500 up front and $300 a month for 10 months.
Okay, cool. So it's as simple as giving you a call next weekend and organizing that. And one,
you have
is it money transfer, or is it?
You have my email, right?
I believe so. I've changed emails though, so I might have to get it again.
Okay. All right. Well, just email info at, just say, everybody knows. I mean, a lot of people on the intake team know Housey. So just say, this is Housey, and send an email in the message line, say, this is Housey.
Can I go through something with you? Just because I believe she's watching, or if she's not, just so I can let. So we got our marriage license on Friday. We got married on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
I came here in July.
Yeah.
Wasn't sure about the marriage, but I've overstayed my waiver.
Yeah.
Now I should have gone October, I believe.
Yeah.
We're going to push the marriage is supposed to be in June, and she decided to do it earlier. So she was worried about that, but
that'll all be forgiven.
Yeah,
if you overstay, but you're married to a U.S. citizen and it's a real marriage, it's all forgiven.
Yeah, and in terms of because obviously it just happened on Friday, so we don't have an interview for like a year, right? Like 6-10 months, a year, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then for all these forms, once we've paid you and we fill that stuff out, how long till that's on file for one, so I know I'm all good immigration wise, and then secondly, how long until I get like a social, or I can get a driver's license and work permit? How, like, roughly? She's from Oklahoma City, by the way.
And that's good. It won't be as busy down there. It'll take us about 3 or 4 weeks to get the case out the door and to USCIS, depending on how organized you are and how much evidence you have. And then you'll get fingerprinted probably a month later. And then some people, a small percentage of people, are getting their work and travel card and their social security card in a month. Most people, it's 6 or 7 months.
Okay. And so I know I asked you and Amani before, but my overstay, like, I'm not here for a year. I'm here for 5 years. I've been here for a few months.
You could have been here for 20 years. If you're married to a U.S. citizen and it's a real marriage, it's all forgiven.
Okay. No problem at all. Well, I'll get your email, shoot that through, and we'll get this ball rolling.
Sounds good, bud. Talk to you soon.
All right. Thanks very much.
See you, man. That's one of our old friends, Housey, one of the OGs. He wasn't giving me a lot of trouble about the Jets, you'll notice, but I guess it's not football season, so what are you going to do? Art's here. Hi, Art.
Hey, Jim. How you doing?
I'm well. How are you, sir?
I'm working, so it's all right, I guess.
Sun's out.
Question, right? Southern California for you. Quick question. I'm applying for my naturalization. On the section that tells you if you've left the U.S., does an 8-hour trip down to Tijuana count?
I think it says 24 hours on the form. I don't think you have to list an 8-hour trip.
All right, Jim, that was it.
Oh, that was easy. Wow, I'm earning my keep today. Thanks, Art. Good luck. Good luck with your citizenship. See you, buddy.
Thank you.
All right, Mariana's here. Hi, Mariana.
Hi, Jim. How are you?
I'm well. How are you doing?
Good. You remember me?
No. I mean, I remember your face, but I don't remember anything about your case.
It's okay. A little bit of feedback about it. We did submit it. My husband was here on the as a student visa. His visa expired, but we got married before it expired. I was a resident before, but then we submitted the I-130, the relative, and then that got approved before I got my citizenship. But I remember coming in the show and you told me that it was better to wait because it was like a month or two before I was a citizen. So I did become a citizen. We submitted the paperwork. We submitted the
45.
I'm 45 and everything back in September. He got his biometrics like 1 month after they received the case.
Yep.
But he hasn't received any of his employment authorization. So that's been like 5 months. So I don't know if something's going on or.
I think you got about 2 left.
Oh, I'm sorry?
I think you got about 2 months left, a month or 2 left before he gets it.
So it's normal then that we.
Yeah. Did he graduate from school or did he just stop going?
He did. He did his master's too. So.
Did he get OPT?
Yeah.
And is that all? Is the OPT done?
Yeah, he's out of
Okay.
state.
Okay. So he doesn't have a current EAD.
No.
Okay. Yeah, probably just another month or two.
Oh, okay. Sounds good. And also, I remember telling you that during my naturalization ceremony, I did change my name, which
Yeah.
was a mistake, I believe you told me. But
Nah, that's fine.
yeah, so that doesn't like affect the like time that it's gonna take for them to approve the case.
I don't think so.
Because I did submit it like everything, like my green card, my naturalization. On the naturalization certification, it says
Now listen, they're pretty dumb down there, but I think they can figure out that you're still you. I hope.
it's the same picture and everything. So
Yeah,
I guess
I think you're good.
and I
Yeah.
changed my social and everything, so I guess they will figure it out.
Hope so.
Yeah. Okay.
I think you're doing fine. Just waiting a little bit longer. You're close.
Just a little bit longer. Okay, sounds good. And just one more question is regarding another case.
Okay.
I do have a sister in Mexico. My dad passed away a couple years ago, and I wanted to see the possibility of bringing her here with me. I did talk to her mom because we're like half sisters. So I talked to her mom, and she was okay with me like going through the adoption process and everything. So like, how likely is that for her to like, instead of being like a green card holder, for her to just have I can transfer her my citizenship as well, because she's 10, I think.
She's 10.
Yeah, 11, I believe.
I think it's almost impossible. While the parent is still alive, you'd have to terminate the mom's rights. You'd have to go down and adopt her, and then you'd have to try to convince USCIS that it wasn't done for immigration purposes. And I think that's a pretty hard road to hoe.
Oh, okay. So
So
it's like,
I wouldn't say impossible. I would say the chances of success are pretty low.
okay, so it's better to just like ask as a sister.
Well, that's a 20-year wait from Mexico.
Yeah.
So
Okay, Jean, thank you so much
all
for
right,
the
thanks,
questions.
Mariana.
Have a
See
good
you
day.
later.
Thank
Yep.
you.
Bye. Chris is up next. Hi, Chris.
Hi, Jim. How are you?
I'm well.
Thanks for taking my call.
Of course.
So basically, I'm a U.S. citizen. My wife and stepdaughter are about 11 months in on their I-130 application. And we are wondering what would be the implications of them coming to the U.S. on tourist visas and waiting, waiting the remainder of the waiting time in the U.S.
So question number one is, do they already have tourist visas?
Not yet.
So generally, when you apply for a tourist visa, they ask this question: has anyone filed an immigrant visa petition for you? And they both have to say yes. And once
Okay.
you check the box that says yes, the chances of you getting a visit visa drop big time. So they can try. I would say they can try once, but most likely it's not going to work. What embassy is it?
Well, they're from Georgia, so it would be Tbilisi, but Tbilisi is really backed up. So we had the idea of maybe coming to Switzerland. I work in Switzerland, and I have a temporary residency in Switzerland. So we could do it there, or we could do it in maybe in Dubai, because I also have connections in Dubai.
I think chances of success are like 5%, but if you want to try it, I'm not against it. As long as the one thing you don't want to do is get anyone in trouble. If when they go to get the visa, they have to make sure to disclose that you have this I-130 for them. If they come through customs and they say, "What are you coming for?" They have to be upfront about it. If they get sneaky about it at all, that could screw up their ability to come on the green card, which is the big ticket.
Right. And supposing that they did get the tourist visa, and then they made it to the U.S., and then what would be the implications if they overstayed that visa?
Well, they wouldn't overstay.
Following up in your previous call with Housie, you said if they're married to a U.S. Citizen, everything's forgiven. Is it the same in this case, or?
Yeah, except you can't plan for that because that's like immigration fraud. So, but yes, generally, if they got a visit visa to the United States and they were able to enter the United States, and then while they were in the United States, they said, "Boy, it sure is nice here in the United States with Chris, and we do have that long pending I-130. That shit's still pending at USCIS. It's going to be another year before it gets to Tbilisi, and we might just go ahead and file for a green card here." So you would do that before they went out of status. Not you wouldn't let them fall out of status because that would be dumb.
Okay. Okay.
Know what I mean?
Yeah, I got it. And just one final question. I heard some people talking about like the possibility of invitation letter. For example, if my parents wrote an invitation letter, it means nothing. No.
Total waste of time. The only question is, are they going to come back? And this is a problem with your Switzerland or Dubai plan. The only question, and the reason that people who have a green card case pending for them don't get visit visas to the United States is because the only question is whether they're going to come back. So whenever you try to get a visit visa in a third country, that's always a problem.
I see.
So from a technical standpoint, your chances of getting a visit visa to the United States are small wherever you do it, but they're probably a little bit better if you do it within Georgia, even though there's all those other things that you mentioned.
Okay. Okay. Well, we talked with your intake specialist the other day, and also considering the option of suing if it takes longer than the time that it should. So we'll keep that on.
Hopefully you won't need us, but we'll be here if you do.
Thanks a lot.
Bye, Chris. See you, bud. All right, Riha's next. What's up, Riha?
Hi, Jim. How's it going?
Oh, it's going great. How are you doing?
I'm great. It's nice enjoying SoCal weather.
Nice.
So, with my spouse, we filed adjustment of status in July 2021 in Brooklyn. So up until November, I didn't even get my work permit. Like 3 months ago, I got my work permit. Actually,
so like a year and a half.
Yeah, like 16, 17 months later, I got my work permit.
Jeez.
And then,
actually,
I called your office and basically checking what are my options. We can file a lawsuit. And actually, the next day, they approved my I-130.
Nice.
And then they sent me a request for evidence for my medicals. And I kind of am surprised with this because my marriage has been over 2 years. I'm kind of like, from some internet research, I basically saw that if they send for RFE for medicals, it means that they might waive your interview. But my marriage has been over 2 years. And I got the RFE. I sent the medical record, just like put the RFE and medical in the same file, just sent them over the Brooklyn office. And it's been 45 days. I haven't heard from them. It still says RFE sent, nothing updated. And like I have until 20th of March the time to respond. I did, but there's nothing updated. What should I do at this point?
Do you have proof of delivery?
Yes, I do. I have the tracking number and everything.
I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan, and I'm really happy for people when they get that notice that they've asked for the medical, or even that they get the notice that the interview has been waived. But we've had lots of people call on this show, and we've had clients in the office who have received one or the other or both of those and still wait 3 or 4 or 5 months for their green card.
Wow. I don't have time for that. Like, what do you think?
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but you got your work card. What do you need your green card? What's going to change if you had your green card tomorrow?
I need to travel. I need to go back to my home country. Just heard my father's sick. Like, I have to go there in the summer.
I'm sorry to hear that. You didn't get the advanced parole never came, just the work card.
I never applied for advanced parole. I only applied for work permit and the other ones, adjustment of status, etc.
Okay, so looking at the green card then, the receipt date for the green card was what, January of 21?
So I applied, we concurrently filed our file July 2021.
July 2021, so 18 months, 19 months, right?
Yes, yeah, around that time, 19 months.
So if you had applied for advanced parole, I'd probably tell you to just chill. But since you didn't, the only way you're going to get to leave and go see your dad is if you get your green card. And given the fact that your EAD took so darn long, I think they might take another 6 or 7 months to do the green card. So you might want to sue them.
So if I sue them, like, let's say 2 weeks from now, what would be the timeline if they even ask for extension and everything? let's say we filed a lawsuit.
So
March
Eastern
15th.
District of, you said Brooklyn, right?
Brooklyn.
So Eastern District and Southern District of New York, they do things a little bit differently. What they do is they get working on it, and then we usually dismiss pretty quickly. So they don't usually ask for extensions. So I think it's probably, 75 to 90 days after we file.
So around June, I would be approved for that.
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
You get a decision. I don't know if you're going to get approved. Hopefully you get approved, but I don't know anything about your case.
I understand. Even like, so this I-130 approval, does it mean anything?
Well, you don't have your green card, do you?
Yeah, I don't.
So I mean, it means they believe the marriage is real, but that's it.
I understand. In this case, your suggestion would be just like file a lawsuit.
I think so, because it's got all the fingerprints: Turkey, long EAD, confusion about where the case sort of is, Brooklyn, which is really busy. It seems like one that you might want to sue on.
I understand. Okay, Jim. Thank you so much.
All right, bye, Riha.
Bye-bye.
All right, Huli tells me we got a loco. He called to complain that he can't enter the show. Don't be calling my office complaining you can't get on the show. This shit's free. What the heck? Can't be mad at Huli or calling my intake team complaining. We're doing the best we can. I try to answer as many questions as I can. What the heck? Don't be calling. Hey, it's Tim. How you doing? That wasn't you calling, was it? Are you loco?
No, we agree with you completely.
Right.
I
Okay,
thought that
good.
was
Go ahead.
insane.
Go ahead. How can I help you?
Hi. So we talked like a month ago. I'm from Michigan State University. I'm a PhD student. My name is Yvonne, Jim.
Hello.
Hi.
My name is Jim as well.
Yes, this is my husband, Jim. So we're trying to get all our paperwork together to file our I-130 and my I-45. And we have a couple of general questions to see if you can advise us on that, if that's okay.
Go for it.
Okay, so first I would say the very specific question. So on my I-45, they asked me about my recent immigration history, and I have to put, my I-94 information, and then my passport. And then there's one question 22, that asks about my non-immigrant visa number from this passport, if any. So what happens is that the last time that I entered the US was with my new passport. My new passport doesn't have my visa. My visa is on my older passport. So when I'm putting the information here, because since I entered with the newest passport, that's what the passport entered on my I-94. So my question is, do I need to add my visa number? I got it's my visa, my F1 visa stamp on my older passport. So should I add this, since this question is asking from this passport? So that would be my most recent passport, or should
I would just leave it blank.
Okay, perfect.
Awesome.
Yeah. Okay. And then the other more general questions is about, well, Jim, when he was adding all his taxes information. Okay.
So when I was filling out the affidavit support, unfortunately I can't remember which line number it is, but it was one of the 3 most recent tax years.
I can barely hear you, Jim. Barely hear you.
I think Can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's better. This is very romantic.
Yes. So anyway.
Hey, that's some good marital evidence. You should take a picture of that and bring it to your interview.
Absolutely. So for the past 3 years, I was looking at the tax information. For the year of 2020, I was a student, and I was essentially using all my living expenses through student loans, so I didn't pay any taxes. But
so you have no income.
No income for that year. I do have taxes for the previous 2 years.
The following, the 21 and 22.
Correct. And my thought process was, I know on the last page you can add additional information about certain line numbers. So what I was thinking is adding my loan application or my loan bills or whatever on top of that, as well as my student transcripts showing that for the 2020 year I was a full-time student and was using student loans as my income, not necessarily my income, but I was using that for my living.
Do you make enough to Okay, for 21 and 22.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then I would just list whatever the income was for 2020 on the back. I'd say I was a student. I wouldn't send them all that crap. They don't want it.
Oh, okay, cool. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. Jim number 2 and Jim's. Our next question is related to our living arrangement. So we can't move in together yet because I live in a student complex apartment in which they only allow one guest per bedroom space, and I share my unit with a roommate.
Yeah.
So basically, Jim can't move in, and my lease ends in July. So we're planning to move in then, but in the meantime, would be useful to add a letter explaining my living situation, and even I can print out and send a copy of my lease agreement and the rules. Would that, I don't know, would that help, or you think it's not necessary? What do you think about that?
So sometimes I say, let's just wait till you live in the same address, but July seems like a far time away. I would just file it. You can explain this stuff at your interview if you need to. If you want to do a little paragraph explaining it, I wouldn't go crazy. I don't think sending them the lease would be helpful. That will confuse them because they're used to looking at leases to make sure that everybody lives at the same address. So I would just keep it really, really simple and really high level.
Okay, thank you. And my last question is, so I actually had a job interview today. So I'm an F1 student, but I have a job interview today. A professor offered me a postdoc position, and he's basically going to wait until I'm done with my PhD, but also he's aware of my green card process, time and everything. I explained to him that basically I need an employment permit to continue working, and technically I need to get it through this green card process. He offered, I don't know if it would be smart or not smart or better or worse. He offered if he needed to write a letter about me getting this position or not, or this is something completely not related to this type of process that we're doing because we're doing it through marriage. What do you think about that? He would be only confirming that, yeah, I've been offered a position, I guess.
Basically, a letter of recommendation.
Could be, yeah.
Or a letter. I think really what you mean is a letter to try to speed up the work card. Is that what you mean?
No, not really. It's just I didn't know. I mean, I can completely avoid that part. It does, because I know that it doesn't have to do anything with this specific type of process that we're doing, because we're doing my green card processing through marriage. It doesn't matter.
I don't think it's a nice offer. I don't think you need it.
Okay. And I think that's it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for taking the time.
Good luck,
I know
guys.
you went past your time. I really appreciate it.
Go Spartans. Bye, guys.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, everybody. That'll do it for today's show. For those in the waiting room, sorry I did not get to you. Make sure that if you want to come tomorrow, you can get that link to tomorrow's show, 314-470-3300, 314-470-3300. Text the word SHOW. You'll get the link tomorrow morning for the show. Tomorrow, it's 4 o'clock Central tomorrow. And then next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 4 o'clock. And then that's it. All right, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a great night. Huli, thanks as always for everything. I'll see you guys all tomorrow.